Okay, we're back with another interesting one. This one is 5 years on Tinder, swiped right 2 million times, and got one date. This is a tweet that totally blew up, 20 million views last time I checked. I'm going to bring it up now. The person who posted it allegedly is not the person in the profile. Really want to zoom in on this one graphic here. So I guess there's a thing called Tinder Insights. I don't know anything about this that actually will give you your analytics for using Tinder. And so you can see here, this claims in over 5 years he spent on Tinder that he swiped 2 million times. And it looks like how many of those? 4, 5, 9. Looks like over 2 million of them were right swipes, as you'd expect. About 38,000 were left swipes. So he said no to 38,000 people out of over 2 million. He got 2,000 matches. He had 1,200 and change chats, and he got one date out of all that. And I assume you have to manually record whether you had relationships or casual sex with these people. Anyways, so you can get the picture there. Again, this apparently is not the person, the Bizlet here posting it is not the person in the profile, according to them. But yeah, this lit up Twitter, and for very good reason. Obviously, there's a lot of opinions on why Hayden here, this 26-year-old holding a fish, it has not found much success, and people telling him to move to Thailand. I'm not sure that's going to solve it for him. So let's dive into some of the different takes. Okay, first up. Replies telling him it's because he's not jacked, but that has nothing to do with it. You need platonic female relationships. You'll learn what women actually want. You can ask them advice on how to present yourself, and they wouldn't let you post pics like this. And let me just zoom in on that one for you. I don't know if you can read that shirt. It's sit ya ass on my face and holding a fish. There's probably not a single more repulsive photo. It's funny. Great job, Hayden. Very funny, but good luck getting a date with a photo like that. Too good. I couldn't imagine. I don't even know the last time like I wore a blatantly graphic shirt. Most of my stuff is pretty plain. If you don't want your photos to age dramatically, like instantly, don't wear graphic tees. I don't care what they say. Like you don't see old pictures of the Kennedys with graphic tees on. Like there's a reason all those Camelot photos are just timeless because they're not wearing shitty graphic tees, dude. Crazy. Anyways, one guy looked up the stats behind like how many users Twitter has. Looks like 75 million monthly active users. In the United States, there are about 8 million active Tinder users, and about 24% of them are female. So 2 million of them would be female. But as somebody pointed out, there is, I think, a feature on Tinder. It's been like a little while, hot minute since I've been on Tinder, but there's a feature that lets you swipe in other cities. So it is statistically potentially possible that these are accurate statistics that he actually did swipe 2 million times. But if he did stick to Tinder users in the US, that would be all of them, all of the female ones at least. And then somebody very correctly points out that there's something weird going on here. They say there's nothing terribly wrong with how he looks, but there is absolutely something going on here. Either he's extremely hostile and weird in conversation, or he's chatting with bots. Average women do give average men a decent chance. I'm going to debate that one. But what they're commenting here on is his conversion rate from 1,269 chats to one date. Yikes, dude. You need to look inward. Maybe it's not the fish and the shitty graphic tee. Like, it's quite possible that it's your personality. Could it be your personality? If you're not able to close more than one date out of 1,269 chats, you've got a problem. The call is coming from inside the house, if you know what I'm saying. Oh, my goodness. Here we go. Anyone criticizing your looks is forgetting you got 2,000 matches in one date. Something is wrong with the way you're talking to these women. Bang on. Exactly what I just said. All right. He's saying something very wrong. He had 410 matches per year, over one per day, and chatted with 250 plus women a year. In 5 years, only one of those women wanted to meet him. 700ths of 1%. What's he doing? Telling these women about his kill room? Yeah, like one match per day for 5 years straight. Like when I was on Tinder, there's that initial kind of burst at the beginning when obviously the algorithm's feeding you false confidence because it really wants you to stick around. Like all dating apps do this. So you feel like this is going to be amazing. I'm just going to be flooded with matches every day. And then it dies down to a real trickle, let me tell you. And if you're in a like small to medium sized city like I am, it gets to the point where you're like just scraping the bottom of the barrel, figuratively speaking, and like you're almost seeing the new users come on the app in real time. It's so bad. So you'll reach the end, no new users, and then you'll next day log in and there'll be like two people that you go through and so on and so forth. So the fact that he could average that much per day probably tells me that he is actually using that passport mode and just going for, I don't know, just numbers. Obviously 2 million is absolutely ridiculous and probably not containing himself to just the United States. All right. Somebody replies and said, it's not time to Thailand, Max. It's time to realize that you're not any of the archetypes of a man that can achieve a modicum of success on these apps. You need to shift your focus to real life. To be fair, this is where a lot of people are going. Looks or not, obviously, like the 9s and 10s, the Giga Chads of the world do really well. The 80-20 rule 100% applies in the dating app world. The 8, 9s, 10s, they do most of the action on these apps. And obviously, Hayden here is not one of those people, so he should probably switch his focus to real life. Another interesting one, he isn't even looking that bad. Solid 5 out of 10. That's actually what I would have rated him, as not being into guys, but just seems like a 5 out of 10 to me. I bet a bunch of ugly girls that were way below him didn't match him. This is like hypergamy, isn't it? This is the classic dating app matchup when you have 5s on the female side looking at 8, 9s, and 10s. On the male side, they're not looking at Hayden here. They're not looking at fellow 5s. That's just the way it goes. And that's the problem. I just talked about it. Like all those 8, 9s, and 10s in terms of dudes, or even just the 9s and 10s, they're getting the lion's share of all the action here. So Hayden never stood a chance. Yeah, imagine how much better you'd do with 50 fewer pounds and a few pics of doing something girls would be interested in. Yep. Hard to disagree with that, Hayden. Carefully constructs his Tinder profile to be as unappealing to the average woman as possible and then screams, no, 2 million women are wrong. We need to bring back heckin' Christian values. Yeah, it's tough to debate that one. I mean, that is an all-time terrible shirt. Another not terribly remarkable shirt. Holding a critter, no less. This is not, in my experience, something I've found women like. I grew up without a date until I was like probably 18. And one of the ways I achieved that feat was to get really into reptiles. So like snakes and amphibians too. Let's not forget those guys. Frogs, salamanders, lizards especially. I had a lot of them and I love to catch them like this. It was a good time, but I can tell you that no women were interested in that. And I'm pretty sure that still holds true today. Hayden, I'm sorry to break it to you, but this is not going to cut it. Let's see, what else do we got here? Yeah, I'm not going to criticize his job. His job's his job. And there's a lot of respect to be had for someone working in the trades. Oh, my goodness. We're hearing from a woman here, Philosophicat. She says, I wouldn't go anywhere near a man who 1, owned a shirt like this, 2, thought it was acceptable to wear in public, and 3, thought it was a smart idea to put it on his dating profile. Oh, man. It suggests you are low class, enjoy crassness and vulgarity, probably watch a lot of porn. I'm probably not allowed to say that on YouTube. Dang. And have no self-awareness. The fact that you're holding a fish and are overweight. All right, do we think he's overweight? He's got an unfortunately chubby face, but he doesn't look like he's overweight. It's not the best. Hands look weird, but anyways. The fact that you're holding a fish and are overweight are, as others have already pointed out, are not helping your case but wouldn't necessarily make me run the other way like that shirt does. Yeah. Bingo. Anyways, just thought that was super funny. I'm going to wrap this one now. You can go check it out yourself if you'd like. Absolutely huge. Like I said, 20 million views on that original tweet. Just bonkers. So it blew up. And there was quite a spirited debate on why Hayden here hadn't found success in the dating world. All right, back to your regular programming soon, I promise. I'm just having a lot of fun with this commentary stuff. Take care.